A strategic plan is a collective vision about the future, but it remains only words on paper without two critical elements. One, focused commitment to the attainment of its objectives, and second, intentional, ongoing action. Theodore Roosevelt's speech from more than a century ago still beckons us to be the people who accept the call to action with all the challenges and hardships that are sure to be part of the process. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong stumble or whether doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, those who dare greatly. The strategic plan for the Red Angus Association of America was created on these foundational elements. Membership input obtained from the organizational-wide survey conducted in the last quarter of 2019, 8 months of dedicated, thorough, and engaged deliberation by your strategic planning committee, and a conviction that the Red Angus maternal advantage and the system-wide advantages offered by Red Angus genetics, coupled with the creativity and diligence of your membership, provide the framework for ultimate success. The great Austrian mountaineer Reinhold Messner reminds us that in the planning stage of any great expedition, there is always fear, uncertainty, and doubt. But upon beginning the ascent, fear recedes in the face of action. This is our truth as well. In the best traditions of the Red Angus Association of America, it is my hope that you will take up the tenets of this plan, make them your own, and enter the arena committed to bringing it to fruition. Begin now. The time for hesitation has passed. It's my privilege to introduce Johnny Rogers to provide the vision for this plan.
Charles Garfield reminds us that mission starts with determining what you really care about and what you want to accomplish and committing yourself to it. Our vision and mission describes who we will serve and how we will serve them. When you consider our long-term vision to dominate the beef industry with Red Angus genetics, at first it may seem quite bold. However, bold moves are not new to our AAA, and you might say it is in our DNA. Some have said that this statement will put us at odds with other breeds. In reality, we do compete with other associations, but we cooperate with them as well. Our breed and our association must conquer the paradigms and inefficiencies that drain profits from our industry to better serve our commercial stakeholders. It is now with great pleasure that I introduce the Strategic Plan Chairman, Ms. Kelly Brown.
Thank you, Johnny. I'm really excited to have been your chairman for the Strategic Plan 2026. And it's so neat to see a group of people come together. And, I've called them the dream team, but it was an assembled group on the committee from members who have been in the organization since its inception or close to it, their family has been, to some real newcomers to the breed, from outsiders of the breed that are just industry stakeholders that provided us a valuable input when we needed it most. And I'm reminded of what Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, where he said, "Do not go where the path may lead, go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." Isn't that what we're called to do? As a Red Angus Association, it's so important. Strategic planning has played a vital role in a roadmap for our future. After we pulled the membership and really the industry and looked deep into where we need to go to position ourselves to better create, not only take advantage of market demand, but really to work hard to make sure that we have the product there when it's most needed. Through that process that Tom Field led us in, we came up with a roadmap. And let me remind you, the way strategic planning has worked for years with Red Angus, even though it's just a roadmap of dreams that we think could become possibilities, our board members prioritize it through their funding in the annual budget. Committees work hard on specific initiatives, and our staff every day to engage not only our members, but the industry to make it come true. So it really does take everybody. Through the polling of all of these people, we came up with a very core, I'm going to call them, they were called values to what we used, but they were core concepts that became evident that that's what our organization was really founded on and has stood on for decades now. Those values are commitment, innovation, integrity, and relationship driven. Everything that we've accomplished in our history's past have been because of these core values that we have. And as we lead forward, we use them as a filter to where we wanted to go. A commitment to a more prosperous beef industry. Innovation, the relentless pursuit of providing industry-leading techniques, tools, and services. Integrity, not only in our data and our analysis and our service, but in our business dealings and our communication and our human interaction with others in our breed and in the industry. And finally, relationship driven. It's obvious that we have used those relationships to build, nurture, and serve our community of stakeholders in the past, and that it would be important to our future. So as you listen to our strategies, just keep in mind that that's the filter which we used. I'm going to turn it over to Ryan Ludvigson now for the first strategy.
Thanks, Kelly. Yeah, the first strategy that we have, we feel is a very critical one, and that's increasing market demand for our product. We've set a very aggressive goal of being 20% of the U.S. beef industry cattle inventory by 2030. But we feel like it's something that we can attain. And through partnerships with packers, both regional and national, as well as through feed yard partnerships and just industry partnerships with even retailers on the end, we feel like this will drive demand. We feel like sustainability and profitability are two of the key factors that we need to show to our customers. And we think through that, we will be able to develop more demand. We'll get a lot more cattle that are going to be tagged into our FCCP program. And eventually, we just see this as being a necessity to the breed and to our breeders. At this time, I'm going to turn it over next to Stephen Rogers.
Thanks, Ryan. Critical objective number 2, as we identified it, was to quantify and communicate the Red Angus advantage in stakeholder profitability and sustainability. And the major outcomes we looked at were expanding the position of the Red Angus influenced cow as the most favored female, and then to communicate the strong value position of verified Red Angus genetics. We have to claim this space that verified Red Angus genetics have earned when it comes to profit and sustainability. This is territory in the industry that we can and we must stake claim to. We must not only claim it, but we have to advance our position as the most favored female. We have to plant the flag, so to speak, on these traits and then protect that territory by sharing our story and then data that supports it. In order to expand our position in the industry, we have to tell our story and the success stories of our Red Angus customers, because no one else can tell it as well as we do. By establishing the value of verified Red Angus as the common denominator in sustainable, profitable crossbreeding systems, we can expand the strong value position of Red Angus influenced cattle. And we can further our position as the most favored female by gathering and utilizing data showcasing the advantages of our breed. By quantifying and communicating the advantage of verified Red Angus genetics, we will get closer to reaching our vision of dominating the beef industry with Red Angus genetics. Kylie DeVoe will now tell us about critical objective 3.
Thank you, Stephen. So our critical objective number 3 that I'd like to talk to you about would be the talent objective, creating, attracting, obtaining and keeping that talent within our group. And you know, the Red Angus Association of America has a long-standing reputation of having good people surrounded around them. From the grassroots members to the wonderful staff we've had for so many years. So often you hear of how the cattle attracted someone to the breed, but the people kept them here. And that says so much about who we are. It gives credit to where we've been, but also to where we're going. I recently heard Tom Woodward say that you need to always be aware of the roots. What's the root system that supports and makes this thing flourish? And I believe that's the talented people that make up this breed association. Talented members, an extremely talented staff that want to be a part of making this one of the greatest breeds in the beef industry. And that's why we feel that it's so important to keep talent wrapped into this plan, to reach out and find those extremely talented members, talented staff members that want to be a part of this, and to continue to educate them in the ways that will make them flourish and will make Red Angus flourish also. I'll now turn it over to Butch Schuler for critical objective 4.
Thanks, Kylie. To create and improve genetic tools. Red Angus Association of America has a long history of performance testing. Since its inception in 1954, performance information has been required for the registration of all cattle entered to the Red Angus Association's registry. The chartered members of our association believed the ultimate goal of this breed association was to initiate a system to objectively evaluate and select cattle based on traits of economic importance, and to build an association that would adopt and embrace scientific innovation. Through the years, the Red Angus has held true to that vision, with most of its members collecting more data in excess of registration requirements, including additional weight traits, feed efficiency, heifer pregnancy, and product traits. They also readily adopted EPDs in the 1980s and later embraced the concept of economically relevant traits, which are predictions directly associated with revenue and costs. The implementation of total herd reporting in 1995 required every registered Red Angus female to be reported annually, allowing the development of the stability EPD, which is primarily a predictor of cow fertility, among other traits that will keep a cow in the herd year after year. One of the core policies of this association, listed in the 2020 Red Angus Strategic Plan, is that the Red Angus Association of America is committed to objectively describing and recording cattle utilizing sound scientific principles. It is a priority of the 2020 Strategic Plan to increase the volume and quality of phenotypic and genotypic data submitted by our members to improve the reliability of our predictions. The Red Angus Association of America will also seek phenotypic and genotypic data originating from commercial sources, which may include feed efficiency data and markers for feedlot hypertension and high altitude disease, as well as other health traits as they are developed. It is a goal of the 2020 Strategic Plan to make Red Angus cattle the most structurally sound breeding stock in the industry. This will include the development of genetic tools for traits related to function, including foot structure and udder soundness. It also includes a targeted education program that prioritizes the economic impact of such traits. Sustainability is an issue that has been given much attention recently. As a definition of sustainability becomes further defined in relation to the beef cattle industry, Red Angus has multiple advantages, including highly productive females, excellent growth traits, and a coat collar that allows them to thrive in a wide range of environments. They also complement nearly all breeds of cattle in crossbreeding programs. Total herd reporting enables Red Angus to produce the stability EPD, which may be a key component in the measurement and definition of sustainability. The strategic plan seeks to leverage existing genetic tools and develop new tools as necessary to support improvement in measures related to sustainability. It will also seek to access and analyze industry data to document Red Angus performance in feed efficiency, feed yard health, and manure output. As with other key outcomes listed in this plan, an educational component is mandated to increase the capability of our breeders and their customers to leverage genetic tools to generate progress in economically relevant traits and increase their profitability. At this time, we would like to reintroduce Johnny Rogers, the current president of the Red Angus Association, to present the final strategy for the 2020 Red Angus Strategic Plan.
Thank you, Butch. I'd also like to take a moment to say thank you to the entire Strategic Planning Committee for the time and talent that they have volunteered to our association. As we consider our path forward, we should think about the Lewis Carroll quote, "If you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there." In this case, we do know where we're going because we have built this strategic plan with a grassroots effort, with information gathered from our membership and industry partners, which was carefully considered by the Strategic Planning Committee. However, we must make a commitment, or these things will only be promises and hopes. I call on all Red Angus stakeholders to embrace this plan because it is the first step on our journey to fulfill our dreams.